10 celebrities who hate the Queen, Russell Brand, a famous comedian, actor, and on top of that, the man is not fond of the royal family, which he does not make a secret. Russell has a YouTube show called The Truths. He used this show to throw some shade at the royal family in a heavy fashion with the following quote, "I mean, in England we have the Queen for F's sakes," Brand said. "We have to call her things like Your Majesty, like she's all majestic. She's just a person, Your Highness, what the F is that? She's high up above us at the top of a class pyramid on a shelf of money with her own face on it." The Daily Mail, who printed columns from Brand's book, asked if the provocative comic could sink any lower. He could. Brand criticized the Queen's German heritage. "We should be calling her Miss Windsor," he said. "In fact, that's not even her real name. They changed it in the conflict to distract us from the inconvenient fact that they were as German as the enemy. Her actual name is Miss Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. It's the most German thing I've ever heard. She might as well have been called Miss Bratwurst Kraut." I don't want to read between the lines too much here, but it seems like he's not a fan. Danny Boyle. The director Danny Boyle made headlines when he stated to reporters that the late Queen should be replaced by an elected leader, and then suggested maybe J.K. Rowling could fit the role. "It's a luxurious spotlight they're under," he said of the royal family under the monarch system. "You can still have a royal family if you like, but actually have an elected head of state." The filmmaker believes the British monarchy will be abolished in his lifetime, but he has applauded the late Queen Elizabeth II for her involvement in a short film Boyle directed for the Olympics. J.K. Rowling as Prime Minister or President is definitely a unique look, but I could see her excelling in the position. What do you think? Colin Firth. An amazing actor and Academy Award winner for Best Acting in The King's Speech, which is ironic because he's against the monarch. Firth told compatriot Piers Morgan on CNN that he enjoyed playing King George, and the actor also had some kind words to say about the work that the then Prince Charles was doing for the country. "I really like voting," Firth said flatly. "It's one of my favorite things. As for unelected bodies, it's a problem for me," Firth said. The actor was also part of the campaign for the United Kingdom to remain part of the European Union, calling the idea of Brexit a disaster of unexpected proportions. He soon after applied to be an Italian citizen, to which I have to say he has great taste. Eddie Izzard. Known across the UK for years as a comedian who appeared on stage and in public in extensive makeup and women's clothing, he has made it publicly noted that he is not an avid royal supporter, which is a bit of a drag, no pun intended. The actor told Metro during press for the film that monarchy doesn't make sense in the 21st century, and said that he wasn't into royalty. This Republican attitude will apparently be central to his bid to become mayor of London in 2020. "Hereditary privilege is crazy to me," the aspiring politician told The Independent. "We should widen the gene pool and elect a head of state for 5 years." Morrissey, former lead singer of cult 80s band Smiths, has long been considered one of the greatest living Brits. In 2006, he came in at number 2 in the BBC poll, finishing behind veteran broadcaster David Attenborough, but ahead of the Beatles bassist Paul McCartney. "Unfortunately, I came 5th in the pool, but this year it's looking like a podium finish for myself." One list he will always top is famous anti-royalists. "The Queen is Gone" is considered an anti-monarchy anthem, and since going solo, Morrissey's views on the royals have only hardened. The icon told The Telegraph the Queen is the ultimate dictator, claiming that if the British people decide tomorrow that the Queen must go, the Queen wouldn't hesitate to turn her tanks on the British people. It would happen. Morrissey, don't sugarcoat it, man. Do you or don't you like the royals? Tracy Ullman. Apparently she's a comedian, I'm now finding that out, but I'm sure she's funny. The Tracy Ullman Show, which gave birth to The Simpsons, the more you know, debuted in 1987 and made her an instant star stateside. It would be a whopping 30 long years before she returned to British television screens. Despite not being in country for all those years, Ullman has remained vocal about the way the UK is running. An MP once suggested I be put in the Tower of London for saying derogatory things about the royals. "There's no First Amendment in my country. I love your Bill of Rights." The actress also said the UK should adopt the bicycling monarch approach taken by other European countries to save money, and that the royals should be able to step down instead of being forced into royal service. Why should they have to? There are loads of people willing. One of those weird cousins, no doubt. Johnny Marr. The main creative talent behind the Smiths were singer-songwriter Morrissey and guitarist Johnny Marr. While the two often disagreed about the direction of the band, they did agree on one thing: a seething resentment for British royalty lording over their homeland. I agree with everything this man says for the simple fact he's got a stare that could turn you to stone. He looks like if Lucifer met Ghost Rider at a $10 wig store, and it's terrifying. So let's all try not to disagree with him, or he may appear in our nightmares. When asked if he'd accept an honor or title from Her Majesty, such as knighthood or being named a member of the Order of the British Empire, Marr empathetically replied, "F no." Mike Leigh, this English filmmaker, is routinely Oscar nominated for his work, which includes quiet dramas, Very Drake, quirky indies, happy-go-lucky, biopics, Mr. Turner, and speculated topsy-turvy. In 2002 interview with The Guardian, Leigh called the monarch a ludicrous anachronism. I didn't pronounce that right, but let's forget it. And argued that the hereditary aspect of the monarch is completely untenable and can't be sustained in the 21st century. What are your thoughts on this statement? Noel Gallagher, famous for the song Wonderwall, which if you don't know that song, you suck. It's a masterpiece to say the least. Noel and his brother's band broke up, and since then shade has been thrown. Perhaps the one thing Noel Gallagher hates more than Liam Gallagher: the royal family. A 2000 interview with guitar player recalls that Gallagher once called the royals clowns and called for abolishing the monarchy. Rolling Stones published a quote attributed to the British pop star that falls right in the wheelhouse where angry and wit merge. I wouldn't wish the royal family deceased, just seriously maimed. I'd take a couple of legs off. The Intimate Pistols. The late Queen Elizabeth II's Silver Jubilee, a year-long celebration of her 25 years on the throne, on June 7th, a rented boat called the Queen Elizabeth chugged through London down the Thames River with the Intimate Pistols and many other anti-established writers and artists aboard, ostensibly a promotion for their extremely sarcastic second single, God Save the Queen. The stunt also served to preemptively mock the staid Royal River procession planned just days later. As night fell, the Intimate Pistols took the boat's stage and launched into a gleefully vitriolic anarchy in the UK while passing by the Parliament building. As the punk rockers continued with their set, police boats cornered the Queen Elizabeth, power was cut off, and the vessel had to dock. The band's manager reportedly fought with police while the band slipped away into the night and the remaining passengers rioted. It was, to say the least, anarchy in the UK. Hate or love the royals, I would empty my bank account to see that live. That sounds entertaining to say the least. Thanks for watching.